is an act of God. I fall asleep in my recliner normally by 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I am falling apart, folks. I didn't know I got here. I woke up one day and I realized I'm older than what I thought I was. It happened years ago when my son was showing me all his new Taekwondo moves that he learned in a class. And here's an FYI for you young parents. Don't let your kids learn self-defense if you don't know it yourself. They will whoop you and beat you senseless, and you have to be proud of it because you paid for the class. Not a good move on my part. He comes home one day and he's like, Dad, I want to show you something I learned. Okay, show me, son. He goes, this is awesome. I'm like, cool, show me. Attack me, Dad. I'm not attacking you. You're 12 years old. I will whoop you. Come on, Dad, attack me. I look at my wife. She goes, attack him. I should have known when she was setting me up. I go to attack him. He does this move, and he hits me in the side of my leg, and I hit the ground. I look at myself, I can't feel my leg. And he goes, that's a pressure point. I know more. I said, stop. It took me 5 minutes to get feeling back in my leg. I'm limping around like a wet noodle trying to get up, falling across the room. You see, you got to be careful because what you don't realize is sometimes the enemy will sneak in and zap you when you're not looking. You might be a little overconfident, I think I can handle you. I think I got this. And sometimes those who, it's Valentine's Day, and this is kind of a great way to talk about this. She's not here to get me in trouble, so I can do, well, this is being recorded, isn't it? And my sister-in-law sitting here, I should have thought this through. But sometimes you'll get yourself in trouble. Be careful of who you're listening to. Be careful of what you're doing. Let the Lord be your strength. You want to take his hand. There are moments in your life you need to sit down in the grass. But let's be real honest. There are some times that just sitting there doesn't cut it. There are some times that just taking a moment with God just doesn't do it. Have you ever had that thing where you thought, if I could just get into that service, I'll get what I need, and then you leave that service and you still feel empty? Can we be real today? You ever walk out of a place and you're like, God, I'm still on E. I'm still not feeling what I need to feel. I'm still just a little bit lost, and I'm just not where I need to be. That's when you need to let him lay you down in green pastures. You see, there's this thing called relationship when it's okay to be real with God. It's okay to say, God, I didn't get what I needed out of that service, but somehow I'm going to lock myself away with you, and I'm just going to lie down in your presence. I'm just going to shut everything else out, and I'm just going to stay here for you a few moments. I need you to regenerate me. I need you to renew me. I need you to restore me. I need you to refill me with your presence like never before. So David said, God makes me to lie down in green pastures. You can be in a desert and God can create a green pasture. It's in a pandemic that you can live and not be worried. It's in a struggle that you can say, I'm going to survive. It's in those moments when things are falling apart that you can say, God is somehow going to keep me, not because I have the ability, not because of my aptitude, but because of who he is. He's going to work it out. When I look at certain moments in my own life, I didn't see green pastures. All I saw was desert. All I knew was barren land. I didn't see how I could prepare a message. I didn't see how I could get up and be effective. I didn't see how I could minister. But God somehow used the desert of my life to be someone else's green pasture. If I'm going to be real today, one of the sermons I preached when I felt the most carnal in my life, I'm just being blunt. I mean, I felt like I was so far from where God wanted me to be. It's one of those things that God has used over and over again. It's been preached all over this place. Other people have asked me for notes, and they've used it everywhere. I felt like I missed the mind of God because I didn't feel like I was where I should be. God still used it because if the intent is right and if the want is pure, God can bless it. Did you hear me? If the intent is right and the want is pure, God can bless it. God, know the desires of my heart. Let me be a man after you. Let me lie down in green pastures. He may not keep you out of the desert, but he will give you green grass in the desert. He will give you grace to go through whatever comes your way. You may be up against things that seem like they're much to handle, too difficult, too unfair. You don't have the strength, you don't have the energy, and you don't have the faith. But don't worry. God gives grass in the desert. As the musicians come back, I want you to understand this. It's good to take time and reflect on the goodness of God. Lord, thank you for the green pastures of my life. Lord, thank you for bringing me through what should have stopped me. Lord, thank you for that place of provision. Lord, thank you for your ministering hand. Lord, thank you for your keeping touch. God, thank you for your healing virtue. Lord, thank you for that place of understanding. Thank you for that place of preparation. Thank you, God, for giving me a place in the unknown of my life. Thank you. Thank you. Now you're probably saying, well, preacher, that sounds good, but I don't see this grass in the desert thing in my life. I don't have these big moments where I've stepped up and done something great. Think about what could have happened. That sickness that could have taken you out, but God gave you the strength to overcome. That breakup should have soured your life. It should have left you bitter, but you kept moving forward through the hurt. That was your moment of a green pasture. My wife and I knew a lady several years ago while working in a local church staff. She was in her late 70s when she was given the opportunity to raise her grandson. Our son was 5. And I was looking at it thinking, how in the world is she going to do this with the energy that it takes to raise a 5-year-old boy? Through it all, God kept her. I watched over the years. She was at school meetings. She was at Christmas plays. He was at youth services. She made it a point to keep him involved. You name it, he was there. She came to me and she said, I don't know how I'm going to do this, because we knew her family well. Her daughter was in our youth group as a young lady. She said, Brother Roy, I don't have the energy. I don't have the ability to do this. And I want to tell you what I told her. Let's let God be God, and let's just follow his lead. Let's do the work he's placed before us. Let's take on the challenge that he's given us. Let's let God be God in our lives. Hear me today. I'm putting something into your spirit. Let God be God in your family. Let God be God in your work situation. Let God be God in your relationships. Let God be God in your personal life, and see what he can do. Somehow through it all, God sustained her. Jeremiah 17, verse 7 and 8 in the NIV says it this way. When you trust in the Lord, you will be like a tree. You see, I want my roots to go deep, but it can't happen if I don't trust in the Lord. I want there to be something that gives me stability, but it all starts with trusting in the Lord. I want something that will give me the ability to withstand the sway and the pull and the challenges of life, but it can't happen if I don't have my trust in the Lord. So I want to trust him. I don't want to be bothered by the heat. I want to trust him. I don't want to be worried about the long months of drought. I want to trust him. I don't want to worry if it seems like everything around me is burnt apart. I want to trust him with every part of my life, because my hope is in the Lord. You're not going to be bothered by the drought of your life. You're not going to be bothered by the desert of your situation. You're going to trust the Lord, and you're going to sit in his presence. You're going to take that moment in the green grass. Why? Because you know that your hope is in the Lord. The desert cannot stop you. The sickness will not end you. Trouble will not destroy you. The anxiety will not take hold of you. It will not make you broken, because he's already... I'd be naive to say we don't, but we're not going to let the struggle overwhelm us. We're not going to get so caught up in the struggle that we just give up. We don't have to give up, because he already paid the ultimate price. Amen? The place in the unknown. As we stand, I want to ask you this right now. Is God creating green grass in your desert place? Are there forces in your life, have they made you stop seeking those places of rest? Perhaps God is trying to release into your spirit favor. Perhaps he's trying to give you healing. Perhaps he wants to give you freedom or abundance, but he can't do it if you won't rest in his presence. Sometimes crying and let God be God. That doesn't mean when we leave the altar that we just quit altogether, but we take a few moments and we say, God, I'm going to keep working to this to the best of my ability. Everything you've given me, I'm going to use it, but I'm going to stop for a few moments, and I'm going to let you regenerate me. I'm going to stop for a few moments, and I'm going to let you renew me. I'm going to rest in your presence. And when I leave this altar, I'm going to attack that situation with everything I've got. When I leave this altar, I'm going to leave out of here in big faith. I'm going to leave out of here in the promises of your word, because I know it's in this place I'm going to get the strength to do what's out there. You got to let God be God in the place of the unknown. As they sing this chorus, ask yourself, am I letting God be God in the place in the unknown?
Love came down and set me free. I am yours. I am forever yours. Mountain high, valley low, I sing out and remind my soul. I am yours. I am forever yours. Love came down and rescued me. Love came down and set me free. I am yours. I am forever yours. Mountain high or valley low, I sing out and remind my soul. I am yours. I am forever yours. I am yours. I am yours. All my days, Jesus, I am yours. I am yours. I am yours.
Lord, I pray right now
All my days,
that you would search the hearts of your people.
I am yours.
God, I pray that you would touch those hidden things that we don't show others. Lord, I pray right now that you would touch us, that you would minister to us in ways that no one knows. I wonder if across this place every eye is closed, every head is bowed,